How do I... Redfall. This is an interesting one. Let's start with the origin of Redfall, a game developed by Arkane. But wait, which Arkane? You might not know this, but there are actually two Arkanes. After Dishonored 1 was released, Arkane actually split into Arkane Austin and Arkane Lyon, which is located in France. Arkane Lyon would go on to develop Dishonored 2, as well as co-develop Wolfenstein's Cyberpilot and Youngblood, and eventually go on to make Deathloop. Arkane Austin would develop 2016's Prey, and the topic of today's discussion, Redfall. Fun fact time, Redfall was co-developed by Arkane Austin as well as Roundhouse Studios, which used to be Human Head Studios, who in 2006 released the original Prey, and more recently in 2018 developed Square Enix's The Quiet Man. And that right there tells you most of what you need to know for this video.
The savages are out tonight, kid. Be careful.
This game was developed exclusively for Windows platforms as well as the Xbox Series S and X. So you got a game developed by Arkane, published by Bethesda, Microsoft money, it's gotta be a recipe for success, right? Right? Redfall is not simply a video game about vampires. Redfall is a vampire that sucks the life out of anybody who dares play it. Let's talk about why. Redfall is a co-op first-person shooter that can be played with 1 to 4 players. The fictional town of Redfall, Massachusetts has been taken over by vampires and their brainwashed cultists. 4 of them take massive spots of power as vampire gods. The Hollow Man, Bloody Tom, Miss Whisper, and Black Sun, who appropriately blots out the sun. These 4 were higher-ups at the Avum Therapeutics Company, which was some kind of rehab center for the rich and powerful. So you as one of the survivors have to run around, secure safe houses, find new guns, kill vampires, kill the cultists, kill the vampire gods, kill the bellwether operatives who are there to collect research that was done when the vampire portal was being opened up, which was open when there was a girl that was sick and the people in the Avum Therapeutics Corporation. Hey, the story doesn't matter because it sucks. Before I delve into more of the problems and aspects of the game, let me show you some of the investigation stream clips from when we first got our hands on the game and let you see some first-hand impressions of what it's like to jump into Redfall with a couple of friends. But before we get there, make sure you check the description for a link to the Purple website where I stream 3 days a week, and the Reset Gang Discord, which you can join to hang out, chat with us, and join movie night every other Friday night with us. Video. Disclaimer, all footage captured is post 1.1 update and has been improved since launch. Direct all comments regarding performance updates to my ass. See stream for details, terms and conditions apply.
That looks like shit. That looks like shit, dog. That doesn't
like
even...
a photo with a filter.
This kind of looks like poopy. This kind of doesn't look great. Oh, what the f is that? I had control, and then I didn't. Oh, let's go down here. What is the goo?
Alright, I guess my game's getting like 80 frames. It just doesn't look good.
It just looks like ass.
I mean, yeah, there's also that. This game just flat out, it doesn't look very good. It is not up to par with Arkane's previous work. I just had a really huge hitch.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime girl. Don't
this
you
looks
dare.
like a Fortnite
Don't
level. This
you
looks like
dare. No, it is not all still images.
but of 3D models. It's all still scenes of 3D models. Did you get terrible pop in on that?
Yeah, that was kind of stinky.
I'm getting bad pop in on all these actually.
Look at the state of this toilet. It's like gravy.
Roll in the thing.
Dispose of trash properly.
Roll in there for you?
Oh yeah, his whole roll. He just took. I'll go camera view for this. So he just took.
It's talking about accidents.
The whole roll, and he was just like, I don't know, this is good. Just the whole thing, and just throw the whole roll in the toilet.
We can look in the scenic viewer. I mean, we can't move our. You can't move your view. Look into this thing and look at the dog ass view. You know, you can't move it.
Dog ass view, and you can't see anything. Why is it here? Oh, I died because I walked near fire. I died.
Well, stop doing that.
I'm trying to touch the thing. There's a thing in here I'm supposed to touch.
There's a thing in here I'm supposed to touch.
It wouldn't let me touch it.
Oh,
Stop
get it,
burning!
God
Ah!
I got pushed.
We shouldn't be burning. We're not standing in the fire.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we just hold T. Return to fire. Well,
I'll return to the
I'm-
fire station.
I need help.
Oh wait, no, I think it'll take us all, won't it?
I'm.
Not even like it.
Did it
No,
not
you
bring you?
guys just- You just left me for dead. Test
Look
something.
at his hands. Look at the size of his
Or,
fucking hands.
He's got the fucking booty clapper 9000s.
Where are we going? I don't have any objective markers.
Go on the map. There, it's the yellow gravestone,
Oh.
and you can place a ping there. I just put a ping.
Why
there.
do you have to do that? Why
Because it's a
can't-
bad game. What is this laser? What is this? Oh, it's a turret. It's a turret.
They're not.
Oh, well, maybe we should have thought this out
Oh,
before we
oh,
just
no.
started shooting.
Oh no. What we're doing now. Yeah. No, it just used the door. It just used the squeaky door open sound effect. The ear. Oh, yeah. Video game.
Is
Like,
Yeah,
what happened? What the f is that transition? That transition to this ladder is so whack.
Oh my god, yeah. I just got it on the first time. I didn't even see it.
Is there a button to turn the gun around?
What, like to like view it?
No, like to aim it at my head.
Oh, you are expected to pay $69 US and 99 cents to play this game.
Yeah, that's a problem.
that I got an issue with that. Donnie, what's going on with Donnie? What's going on with Donnie? What's going on?
Oh, he's sliding.
Ah! Oh,
I'm
look at
almost
that!
done.
Look at that! And then you go through this. Okay, I like that. I
No,
like
yeah,
that.
this game is not devoid of good ideas. Rarely have I played a game that is just entirely devoid of good ideas.
So I
It's
counted
really-
4. Agent said you counted 4 vampires. Yeah, why are there not 100,000 vampires messing you up in the nest? That was a nest.
Yeah,
That was a nest.
They're born here. Do they not care about?
And it's
their
wait, and
fucking,
it's
like-
daytime, so they should all be in the nest.
Yeah. Where are they?
Oh boy, does this payphone work?
I
I was just gonna sing it! God damn it! I've never heard any of you utter a word about liking Maroon 5 or any of their songs. Like,
Baby, I just want to be there where you are. You know, come on. We all like Maroon 5.
Donnie, that was scary.
They're leaving.
Oh boy, you're cruising around. You look real funny right now.
Oh yeah, so do you.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, we're both just sliding. Who the
We're-
needs to move your legs across the ground?
I'm uninstalling it. I
Go
don't
ahead,
want
yeah.
this on my PC.
I don't need this taking up space. You. Oh, fuck you. Come here. Come here.
Ow! Trust strengthened.
Trust strengthened. Trust strengthened. This game knows how real friends act. A good enough way to where what the fuck just happened? Your player bottle just like exploded. Party here.
This game is so bad. I can't believe Redfall sucks so hard.
She's back. She's back in black.
Alright.
Back in black. I know I'm gonna put this video up and someone's gonna be like, you don't know what you're talking about. Redfall is epic Xbox ponage boner.
Alright, I got it.
There's so many little things wrong with this game. That's like, how did you guys get this far? Ah!
I believe I could supplement Bribon's knowledge of the vampire subtypes.
And believe it can be.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! It's my illusory magic. I make people think they're going crazy.
It's called gaslighting.
Oh, good. Gain Devinder's complete trust and confidence. Like, I care if Devinder trusts me. Oh, okay. I guess that's something. Did the lighting break in here? What? Oh, yes, it did. Oh, no, it was loading in. There's a turret. There's a turret inside the soda machine.
Great.
Why is there an invisible wall here? Oh, there's a grave lock. Oh, I'm so glad I came up here. Oh, my God. Bro.
Okay, let's talk about the gameplay. This is a semi-open world first-person shooter with RPG mechanics. I say RPG mechanics the same way that I say that I have a YouTube career. Pretty comparable. There are 4 different characters, each with their own abilities and skill trees. Remy is the medic. She's got a little robot that she can use to distract people with, and C4 that she can throw. She can also heal people. Devinder's special ability is never shutting up and being super annoying all the time. Also, he can do a little flash that petrifies vampires. Jacob is a former sniper, so he's super sneaky, and he's also got a raven that he can send after enemies. Layla is the engineer of the group, and she has telekinesis powers, and she can make an umbrella in front of her. There's like a backstory as to why she has telekinesis powers, but who cares? You can equip 3 weapons at any given time, and you can also equip a blood remnant, which is basically an upgrade to your health, and it gives you 3 passive buffs. I put passive buffs in quotes because, man, none of them ever really seem to change the flow of gameplay. They're all pretty boring. The town is broken up into 2 segments. For some reason, you cannot move between them. You can only start in one and then go to the other. You never get to come back to the first area. I don't know why. I don't think there's ever given a good reason why. I think some of the characters from the first area moved to the second area, so if you were to go back, there wouldn't be anybody there. But they could have easily just written around that and let you explore both of them to your heart's extent. You know, like an open world game does. I don't know why I started this little dance. I keep doing it though. Throughout the town, you'll find these little plaques that you're supposed to take a picture with your grandma in front of, but for some reason they're the fast travel points in town. Don't know why. No other points of interest, only safe houses and random plaques. That's what you can fast travel to. Not like the lighthouse or any of the like major buildings you go to. None of those, just plaques. Most importantly, there are the safe houses that you have to get in the game. These safe houses bravely house 2 to 12-ish people in there doing something, not sure what, but they're there. These safe houses keep them safe from the 8 vampires that are like roaming through the whole town. Seriously, there's just like no vampires or enemies if you're not on a mission. If you just walk through the town when you're not specifically doing something, just wander around, you'll likely almost never run into an enemy. Ever. In the main safe houses is where you'll get your quests, your items, and non-cutscenes. Because there are no real cutscenes in this AAA game that was published by Bethesda and backed by Microsoft. No real cutscenes. Just action figures talking to each other in a blue hell void. Cool! Now these 2 open areas are comparable to the open areas in Dead Island 2, but in the worst ways possible, because there's barely anything to find and barely anything to do. There's nothing to do. Actually, let me rewind. There's nothing to do. Nothing. The only collectibles that can be found are these little audio logs called grave logs, and they give you a teeny weeny little passive buff if you collect 8 billion of them. There's only 100 of them in the whole game, but like, they are not significant. They are not fun. They're not, these might be the most boring collectible in any game ever. The only replayable content in pretty much the whole game are vampire nests, which spawn randomly in the open world. If you destroy one, another one will spawn somewhere else. There's always going to be vampire nests. You can't get rid of them. They're really short, really straightforward dungeons where you either fight 4 vampires or you fight every vampire that ever existed, which is like 10. They're really boring and dumb. And the only reason they're there is because I think almost all of them, after a certain point, give you at least one legendary weapon somewhere at the end if you can find it, and that's it. To complete the nest, you kill all the vampires that are inside it and you destroy the nest heart. And then you have a minute to evacuate while picking up loot. All this loot will spawn. You've got a minute to grab up as much as you can and then escape through the door. Or you could just not escape because it doesn't matter. If you don't escape, you just get slightly less experience points when you finish the vampire nest. Nothing else. You don't lose all the loot you just picked up. You don't lose anything. So like WWE referees have more power than the timer in the vampire nest. The combat feels like very standard fare for like 2012. The weapons are very strictly limited to handguns, flare guns, shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, stake launchers, and UV beams that can petrify zombies and then allow you to smash them into pieces. That's the only like cool new type of weapon in this, is the UV beams. That's it. That's all you get. This whole vampire lore and all this stuff, this whole world we created, the only cool thing we could come up with was a beam that shoots UV. That's it. The stake launcher, I wouldn't even call that unique because it's basically just a big crossbow. It just shoots a stake. That's not cool. The stake doesn't explode, doesn't do anything cool. It's just, you just shoot a stick. Boo. You also get stakes or bayonets for your weapons that you can use to finish off vampires. However, you can't use them for anything else because I don't know why you're walking around with this big pointy stake at the end of your gun in a town full of vampires. Surely you'd think the first thing you could do is just run right up to them and stab them and kill them. No. You gotta weaken them first and then stab them. Why? Does their skin become less tough to get the stake through or something when you lower like what? Why can't I at least stab them with it? Why can't I stab people with the stake? Why do I have to do like a stupid little punch? Flare guns are entirely worthless. Never ever use a flare gun in this game. And every other weapon is completely interchangeable with the exception of assault rifles, which usually shred enemies like classified documents. The legendaries that you can get can be busted early on, but you'll pretty frequently be swapping them out for something else because they'll be too low level and just won't do enough damage. You can't really customize any of the weapons gameplay-wise. There are no weapon parts or anything, just weapons. You can't break them down, you can't take attachments off them, you can't put attachments on, and when you destroy them, all you get is money. No weapon parts, nothing. You can change the skins on weapons unless they're legendary weapons, in which case you are just stuck with whatever they look like. You can't change the paint job, you can't change the stake on them, nothing. You're stuck with how they look. So you can't customize any of the weapons you'll be using in the the Redfall endgame. Your AR-15 with a poplar branch on the end will look fly as hell though, so yippee. The controls are exactly what you would expect. There's not much for movement options. The only thing really is that you can slide and you can clamber up walls. The level design rarely requires you to do anything outside of walking, pointing, and shooting, and sometimes if you've been a really good little boy, you get to clamber up a wall, but only if the moon is in retrograde and the sun is at a certain angle and you wish upon a shooting star, you might be able to clamber up the wall. Maybe. Probably not. Enemies are either cultists, which are just dudes with guns, or a few different flavors of vampire. Regular vampires that basically just teleport around you and whack you every once in a while. There are shrouds that create a dark bubble that make it difficult to see. And that's kind of it. There are siphons, which suck your blood, which you'd expect them all to do, but here we are. Anglers attempt to grab you and one-shot you. Watchers are basically just vampire snipers. Blood bags are disgusting and they blow up when you shoot them. Then there's the Rook. This terrifying force of nature is the very hammer of the vampire gods. They will bring him down on your head with full force when you've angered them enough by setting off enough car alarms. When they call him in, his lightning will strike everywhere but where you're standing, which seems like a waste of resources. They could just hit you with the lightning and kill you, but they don't. And when the lightning clears, the Rook will hunt you down like a dog. And then if you shoot him a couple times, he'll run away, and if you shoot him a couple more times, he'll die. It doesn't help that every single boss outside of the vampire gods are just the same vampires you've already fought, but with an actual name above their head. There's like they don't have like any special abilities, nothing. So really, you just end up fighting the same guys over and over and over and over again for the whole game. There's very, very little variety. Repetition is the name of the game. Well, actually, no, the name of the game is Redfall. See, it was a first-person shooter developed by Arkane. Money from Microsoft did not help this game. Time might have helped this game, but honestly, from everything that I've heard, it sounds like it was mismanaged from the very beginning. An article from Bloomberg, written by Jason Schreier, detailed a lot of the problems that went on with this game. Some people were told it was going to be like Far Cry. Some people were told it was going to be like Borderlands. So the people working on the game didn't even know what kind of game they were making. That's pretty bad. Like, it's not even knowing what kind of game you're making? How are you supposed to make it? Arkane Austin started losing staff because the game's development was going so horribly, so ZeniMax brought in Roundhouse Studios, you know, the Quiet Man guys. Woo, yeehaw! Glad we got them on the team. ZeniMax also apparently pays really badly compared to a lot of other companies in the industry, so then Roundhouse started hemorrhaging employees, and when the Quiet Man guys are starting to lose people, you have lost everything, because they made the Quiet Man. Nobody wanted to fill vacancies, and prospective hires weren't allowed to be told what they were making, so people were coming to Arkane like, I can't wait to make the next super cool single-player arcade game, and then they got hired and they were like, hey, by the way, you're making a multiplayer looter shooter thing. And they're like, oh. But there were literally people that were hoping that arcane magic would fix the game at the last second. And if you have a development team that is literally hinging on a miracle to save this game that nobody wanted to make, everybody was confused about making, ditch it. Just ditch it. Don't waste your time putting this out and embarrassing yourselves. Not to mention, when Microsoft came on, they took a hands-off approach, letting them work on the game. The only caveat when Microsoft stepped in was, no, you can't make a PS5 port. Sony didn't even dodge a bullet. Microsoft unloaded the gun for them. Really, the whole game lacks variety, and that's sad because this is coming from Arkane, a team who historically has put together games where they give you a mission, but they give you like 20 different ways that they could play out, different order you could do things in to affect the flow of the mission, choosing whether or not to kill certain characters. The choice, where no two playthroughs should be the same of, you know, Dishonored or Dishonored 2. Prey to a lesser extent, but still, Prey had a lot of immersive sim stuff in it that helped you finish things in a wide variety of ways that made the game feel fun and open. The game is also so stupidly easy, even on the highest difficulty. Simply being able to break up the enemy aggro between two different players completely destroys the game. Enemies have no way to counter there being more than one of you. It's impossible. It's so easy to take them down. Enemies like the Rook, where though he is strong and fast, there's only one of him. If there's two of you, he will spawn and die in less than 10 seconds. It's completely busted.
The Rook's arrived.
Yes. The Rook is
This
white.
guy is a tiny bit cool looking.
Yeah, I like his cool Vampire the Masquerade outfit.
I would play as this guy in like a fighting game.
Not to mention the fact that when you're playing together, you can revive each other. And the window to do it is really long if you're even remotely close to each other. If you're playing solo though, you'll be having a bad time because there's no self-res, there's no like, downed state or anything if you're playing by yourself. Even the character who's got the medical robot, which you think would have like some ability that gives like a free res or something between loading screens. Nah. Now, sniper rifles, especially in the early game, we're talking the bustedest of the bustedness, okay? And not to mention, enemies in this game are trained to stand still like statues so that you never miss a headshot. Never. The only punishment in the game is that if you die, you lose a little money, which is basically worthless anyway, so who cares if you lose some. Regular enemies don't even get their health back when you respawn, so if you go into a crowd of enemies, right, and you take down half of them, and then you blow yourself up, oops, you respawn in the last place you were at that was important, and you can just go back over and mop up the rest of them because they don't get their health back. Enemies don't respawn, they just stay the way they are, so just throw yourself in there, take out a couple guys, make it easier for yourself, die, come back and finish up the rest. Oh no, I lost some money. Now I can't afford... What? What is there important to buy? Even the vampire gods, yes, they get their health back if you die fighting them. However, every vampire god fight in this game has some kind of super cheesy, extra squeezy, super duper cheesy thing that you can do to them to just wreck them without even trying. So that doesn't matter either. I am now going to go through a list of grievances with the game because I know that is really what people are probably here for. The game runs like mega wet ass on PC. I don't know what happened, but on low settings, the game looks like dookie. On high settings, the game still looks like dookie, and on any setting, the game runs terribly. I mean, yeah, frame drops for like no apparent reason, playing with other people, don't even talk to me about the rubber banding, disconnection issues. We would have to quit the game and then rejoin because one of us would get stuck in the floor. I mean, we get all these kinds of visual bugs. When we fast travel to a new location, our characters would be stuck T-posing or A-posing or holding a gun that isn't there. Enemies would just be there but not actually be there. They'd just be standing there and then they disappear. Like, the art direction of the game is there, don't get me wrong, but it feels like it was developed by an Arkane copycat almost. Quest markers, for whatever reason, just don't show up on your HUD. So say you accept a quest. You accept that quest, you do a 360, no quest marker, none. You open the map, there's a quest marker on the map, and you can put a marker on the quest marker and then it will show up on your HUD, but it doesn't show up by itself. At first I thought, well, maybe they're trying to make it because it's such a small map, right? The character's gonna tell you, oh, go left on Butt Street and then go right on Fart Street or whatever. You're supposed to find things that way, right? No, because you just open the map and there's the quest marker and bing, you can put a marker on it and now it shows up on your HUD. Why doesn't it just show up on your HUD to begin with? The salvaging and currency system of the game, pointless. Entirely pointless. The only thing you get from salvaging weapons and stuff in this game is money. Money is used to buy medkits, lockpicks, and hack pads, which are just digital lockpicks. You can easily get all that stuff out in the field with no problem. I was never like, oh my god, where's a medkit? I can't find a medkit. I have to go buy medkits. Even salvaging things, if you hold down the G key on it, you're gonna have to wait like 3 seconds for each thing. You can't select multiple things to salvage at the same time, and clicking and dragging it to the trash can is fine unless you're like me and you miss half the time. There's a day and night cycle in the game. Again, doesn't really make sense because the sun is supposed to be blotted out, so it should just be dark all the time, but I don't know. The day and night cycle applies to one quest in the whole game. There is one quest in the entire game that takes advantage of the fact that it is sometimes day and sometimes night. And Nothing else in the game makes sense for day and night to affect. There should never be a shortage of vampires at any time. Daytime, nighttime, they should all be out all the time, killing everything. So why does it matter if it's day or night? Oh, it doesn't. They just put a day-night cycle in the game because games have day-night cycles. And then they forgot to implement it into the gameplay at all. What's disappointing is that you go to these places, these psychic spaces where the sky are like these crazy colors and it looks all stylized and you're like, wow, if only the whole game looked like this little room. If only. The number of legendary weapons is super pitiful, especially when you think about the fact that there are some weapon types in the game that don't even have any legendary variants. Flare guns? I'm pretty sure there are no legendary flare guns in the whole game, which means that not only is it the worst like weapon class, it doesn't even get one single like fun busted, a flare gun that shoots a shotgun of flares or something. It doesn't even get that. Why did you guys put this in the game? There is basically nothing to do in this game in the open world. It feels so lifeless. It feels that way because it is. There's nothing fun to do. There's no point in wandering off the beaten path. There's no super cool thing to find. Nowhere. I don't know how you make an open world game that just has nothing in it. I mean, I played Forspoken. I think that was more fun. I think Forspoken was more fun than Redfall. Oh, God. No situation requires any thought in this game, like previous Arkane games. There's no strategizing, nothing. There might be more than one way to enter a house, but it doesn't really matter because either you walk in the front door and you shoot the enemies in order of 1, 2, 3, or you climb in the upstairs window and you shoot the enemies in the order of 3, 2, 1. Wow, big difference. If your brain has one single synapse that is still firing, you can muddle through this game on the hardest difficulty with little trouble. It's just blah. The final boss now, oh boy. Let me tell you about the worst final boss I have fought in a long time. So Black Sun, right? She's the big bad. She's here to whoop ass. You walk into her boss room and she's, oh, I'm so epic and cool. And she's got a force field around her, right? You're like, uh-oh, I gotta get rid of this force field so I can fight her. So you go over to the generator, the little tendril thing, and it's like, oh, I can't do it yet because the lightning is protecting it. Here comes the Rook, except he's not the Rook. He's got a different name, even though he looks exactly like the Rook because it's the same exact character model, is a different name now. Don't worry about it. You fight him, his health goes down by 1/3, boom, he disappears, the lightning goes away, you can destroy the thing. Oh, okay, I took out the first 1/3 of her health. Got it, I gotta do this 2 more times. I get to the last one, right? Okay, and then the Rook is coming at me, and then boom, he turns to stone. I'm like, oh, 3 hits, cool. And I go to kill him, and I can't kill him. His health is just stuck, and he's petrified. I can't do nothing. I can't stake him, I can't finish him off. I go over to the final tendril, I can't do anything because the lightning is still there, because the Rook isn't dead. I tried for 25 minutes to figure out how to kill this guy through the stone. Can't do it. Have to jump off a cliff and die. Start the whole fight all over again. Fine, whatever. It'll be worth it, right? Okay, so I do it. I go back, that same spot where the Rook was, a vampire hits it, and boom, he turns to stone. Why? I don't know. There's just a portion of the floor in the final boss room that is glitched, and if a vampire steps on it, they turn to stone, including the Rook. So I have to make sure that he does not get over there so he doesn't get petrified again and soft lock me out of the final boss again. So I finally get him, I kill him. Oh boy, here we go. I got a legendary weapon from the Rook. All right, time to fight Black Sun. Destroy the last tendril. She falls down. She falls down, right? And she starts talking like I've beat her. I'm like, no. We haven't fought yet. We have not exchanged blows. We have not had fisticuffs. Why are you talking like this? I go over. There's no fight. There's just steak. And I stab her in a cutscene, and the game ends. This is the final boss of your AAA game. This is a big deal. Like, this is a big game. And the final boss is just a force field, and then you stab her and that's it? All your hard work, everything leading up to this, building up this arsenal of weapons and becoming powerful, matters not. This is the worst final boss ever. I think it really is. After you stab her, you go back to town, you walk into the sunlight, and then you get sequel baited. See, more? We're not doing more of this. There's no way. No way another Redfall's coming. No. I played through this whole game. I did all the side missions and everything. The only thing I think I didn't do was collect all the grave locks. I didn't do that because I knew it was just a passive buff and it didn't really do anything for you. But I played through pretty much every major thing this game had to offer because I watched some videos about it and it seemed like a lot of the time people weren't really playing the whole thing. I saw a lot of footage from the first island and I thought maybe this is one of those games where everybody, doesn't get past that first part and maybe the second part is something special. Maybe the final boss is just like amazing. That happened to me with Wild Hearts. Most of that game I was pretty and then I got to the final boss and I was like, what is this? This is so cool. I wanted this to be like that. I wanted to have the aha moment where I go, there's the good thing. They just need to take this and make it a whole game. Didn't happen. Played the whole thing, and I can confidently tell you, Redfall is a not well put together game. It's bad. Redfall is a waste of time. Don't play it. Don't. Just do not play Redfall. It's a spit in the eye. That's what it is. It's not a video game. It's not an experience. It's poop. Poop sandwich. Poop sandwich. It is an insult to everybody that played this game all the way through to the end, just saying, I know there's a nugget of gold in here somewhere. No. There's not. There's no nugget. None. You can't even skip dialogue with characters. Like, on the off chance that you do talk to a character and it doesn't result in one of these action figure cutscenes and they're just talking, you can't skip the dialogue. You can't make it go faster. You gotta listen to every stupid, boring word that comes out of these drab, lame little blocks of wood's mouths. I don't give a rat's grimy dick about your story. Let me skip it and get back to the super engaging and awesome gunplay. I would rather engage my eyeballs with battery acid. I almost forgot something super important. The Bite Back edition of the game, or the Bite Back content for this game. So, which came with the Character Pass, which promised 2 future playable characters. Nothing else, no story content, anything like that, just 2 new playable characters at some point. And a bunch of skins, which you probably won't be able to see because none of your friends want to play this game, so you're going to be playing by yourself in a first-person game, so who cares what your skin looks like? We are talking $30 for 2 characters that aren't even in the game yet. You can't even get them, so right now, you can pay $30 for the Bite Back edition and get jack shit for $30 on top of this full price game. Do not play this. Do not waste your time. Certainly don't waste your money. Oh God, if you paid full price for this game, I'm so sorry. And if you paid for the Bite Back edition, and if you got an Xbox console to play this, I'm sure that's like less than 100 people worldwide that got an Xbox to play Redfall. But if you did, my sincerest apologies. Go play anything else. Redfall is a bad game. It is poorly put together. It is not fun. There are almost no redeeming qualities about it. Redfall is bad. Do not play Redfall. Thank you guys so much for watching. If indeed you've made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, and you check the description for my streaming site and for the Reset Gang Discord that you can join. I hope you guys have been enjoying the newer format of videos. I hope that anybody that stopped by and checked out the cooking stream sincerely enjoyed that. I put up a super cut of the cooking streams, so if you missed it and you don't feel like going back and watching a 2.5 hour long VOD, there's an 11-minute video up on the channel right now that you can go and check out. It was pretty fun, and the Jell-O with tuna in it was pretty disgusting. And make sure you stay tuned for the next video where I might, you know, was thinking maybe I could,